So let us continue. So can you see the screen? So let me jump to the question. It was for April 2023. Now, hope now you can see the screen. Now, the sales manager of XYZ estimates that the revenue function is linear. Now, he has observed that the selling price equality P is 200. Q becomes 6,000. And then when the company increased the selling price per unit to 700, then the demand will drop up to 1,000 units. Now you are supposed to come up, part A, we are supposed to come up with the revenue function. You are supposed to come up with the revenue function. Let us come up with the revenue function. Now we know that P is equals to A minus BQ, where P is price, A and B, those are constant. And then you have Q as our quantity. Now, when P is 200, we don't know A. We also don't know B, but we know Q is 6,000 B. We call it equation 1. Then, when it is 700, we don't know A, but we know Q is 1,000, but we don't know B. We call it equation 2. For now, we solve it using elimination method. So eliminate A in equation 1 and 2. So eliminate A in equation 1 and 2. So let us eliminate it. Yeah. So if we eliminate 200 minus 700, what is 200 minus 700?
Yeah,
It is minus 500. Yes. Someone is talking.
500.
Minus. Remember negative sign. Minus.
Or negative.
500. A minus A is 0. So we don't have A. And then you have minus 6,000 minus 1,000. So we have two minus. So minus 6,000 minus 1,000. That one becomes minus 5,000. B. Now find B. B will be equal to minus 500 divided by the minus 5,000. What would be our B? So minus 500 minus divided by minus 5,000. That will be equal to 0.1. So our B is 0.1. Now solve for A using equation 1. Solve for A using equation 1. So solve for A using equation 1. Now our equation 1 is 200 is equals to A minus 6,000 B. Now 200 is equals to A minus 6,000. We have our B. Our B is 0.1. So 200 is equals to A minus 6,000 times 0.1, 600. Now we can conclude and say our A is equals to 600 plus 200, which is equals to 800. So our A automatically is 800. Is that fine? Apo. Now, once we have our 600, now we can conclude and say here, let's draw our item here that our P, which is our demand, which is the price, is equals to A minus B Q. Here, it is here also. Now, P will be equal to, we have our A as 800, then our B as 0.1. Remember, it must be minus because the price, which is demand, is an inverse relation to Q. And therefore, P has a negative relation to Q. And therefore, it is minus. So our B is 0.1 Q. So that one becomes our demand function, which is P. Now, part A of this question, they were asking, compute the total revenue function. Total revenue function. And we know the revenue function is a function of P times Q. The function of P times Q. Now, we have our P. Where is our P? Our P is here. 800 minus 0.1 Q. Then we multiply with what? P, this one, we multiply with Q. Now multiply it with Q. So what will be our total demand function? What will be our total revenue function? It will be 800 Q minus 0.1 Q squared. So this one becomes the revenue function. That is part A. That one is part A. So screenshot, so for those who are maybe not writing, screenshot before we do part B. So screenshot before we do part B. So I hope you are done with that part. We want to do part B of that question. Let me share the screen again. Let me share the screen again so that you can see what was the requirement for part B. So we want to do as many questions as possible because before the end of this coming month, we make sure we do a lot, especially when it's come to questions, because these questions, they are some of the same. So if you do more questions, then you are sure that you cannot fail. Anyway, let us continue. Let us jump to part B. So let me read part B of the question. So the part B of the question requires us to formulate the total cost function. So the total cost function. Now, we have the information of cost from this part. The cost accountant of the company estimates that the cost function is quadratic. Now, things change. So those who attended the previous class, we talked about the quadratic function. So those who joined the previous class, we talked about quadratic function, and we say this function has various characteristics. And one of the characteristics is that the highest power of the independent variable is 2. The highest power of the independent variable is 2, meaning we cannot have something like x3, x4 as our power when it comes to quadratic. So the maximum power is x2. And therefore, let me do away with this one. Let me do away with this one. So let me do away with this one. Now, I hope you have screenshot the question. Let me just go back. I don't know what has happened to my. Okay, there it is. So we have when Q is 100, then it is clear that our total cost is 79,000. And also when our Q is 200, then it is clear that our total cost from the question is around 76,000. And then when our Q is 400, and when our Q is 400, then we clearly from the equation we can see that total cost is 150. So it is clear from our question that it is 124,000. So with those three information, that one for 100, 200, and 400, and 79, 76, and 24, 124, we can use that information to derive our revenue, our cost function, not revenue, our cost function. So let me present the screen again, not the screen, the board, so that we can continue. So I don't know if my board is visible. You should tell me. Now, so much. Now, also the way we had a general format for demand, P is equals to A minus BQ. We also have a general format for this one, the format that we shall follow when the function is not linear. Now, when the function is not linear, this is the general format: A x squared plus bx plus c, where A, B, and C are constant, and then x represents the number of units produced and sold. X represents the number of units produced and sold. Now, let us start with the first one. Let us start with this one. When Q is 100, our total cost is 79,000. So you want to use this information to put it here. Now, let us do this one. We say total cost is equals to A x squared plus B x plus C. So remember this format, this is a general format for a quadratic equation. That's why I'm using that one. So those who joined the previous class, I know what I'm saying. That the general format for a quadratic is Q, for quadratic function, a general format is A x squared plus bx plus c. So with that information, because already we know that our total cost is quadratic in nature, then you can say that our total cost is a function of x, but we have ax squared plus bx plus c. Now let's start with the first one. When our total cost is 79,000, now our x is, remember our x is our quantity in this case. Now let us do this one so that we don't complicate the item. We say a q squared plus b q plus c, so that we replace x with q, so that we go with quantity. Now, when quantity is 100, part A, we shall have 100 squared. What's 100 squared? Because we know that q is squared and our q is 100. So what is 100 squared?
10,000.
What is 100 squared? My phone is not visible. Okay, let me check this one because it is not visible. I work on it a bit so that we can continue. I hope now it is visible. It was not visible, but I hope now it is visible. So what is 100 squared? So we were saying that okay, this let me check a bit. Just give me some few minutes. I see what is the issue because it is not clear. Just some few minutes. So I hope it is clear now. Hopefully, I think it is the issue with the net. It is coming and anyway. So let us continue. We have said when total cost is 79,000. When total cost is 79,000, our Q is 100 squared. So what is 100 squared? 100 squared. 100 squared. So 100 squared is 10,000. A plus. When you go to the next one, it is Q. So it remains Q, B plus C. Okay, a bit. Okay, let us continue. Let us continue. I think that it is now visible. Someone was calling me. Anyway, someone was calling me, so he was disturbing the. So let's continue. When you have 76,000, now what is our Q? Our Q is 200, but remember our Q is squared. Remember our Q is squared. So 200 squared, this one is 40,000. Then this one becomes the normal 200 that we have because it is normal Q. So our Q is 200 at that point, then plus C. Then you have the last one, the one for 124. Now, when it is 124, we know Q is 400. But for the first part, for A, 400 is squared. So 400 Q squared, which is 400 squared, which is 160,000 A. And then this one, it is not squared, so it remains the number 400 plus C. So we call it this one equation 1, this one equation 2, and the other one equation 3. Now solve for C. We start by solving for C. So how do we solve for C? We eliminate C. Now let us do this. Let us do some working here. Eliminate C in equation 1 and 2. So eliminate C in equation 1 and 2. So let us eliminate C in equation 1 and 2. So we start with equation 1 and 2. So this one is equation 1, and the other one is 2. So let's start with the first one. 79,000 is equals to 10,000 A plus 100 B plus C. Then equation 2 is 76,000 equals to 40,000 A plus 200 B plus C. Eliminate C. So how do you eliminate C? By if we minus C minus C, it becomes 0. So if we minus, we also minus to the other part. So the only way to eliminate C is to minus. So the only way to eliminate C is to minus. So if we minus 79 minus 76, 79,000 minus 76,000, that one is 3,000. 3,000.
Yule jamaa wangu anaitwa Ibrahim. Kwani unasema mutisem gani? Yule anaitwa Mwao. Jamaa wananifurahisha aje jamaa. Huwezi mjua.
Those who are talking. Now 10,000 minus 40,000. That one becomes minus 30,000 A. Then 100 minus 200. That one becomes minus 100 B. So automatically we have eliminated C. This one becomes equation next. Equation number 4. Another item we need to eliminate is to eliminate also C in equation 2 and 3. So we do the same, but for now, we pick the next two equations, 2 and 3. How do you eliminate it? So let us write first, eliminate C in equation 1 and 2. Okay, let us do that working somewhere here. So we have equation 2 as 76 equals to 40,000 A plus 200 B plus C. Then you have equation 4, 124,000 equals to, we have the 160,000 A, then you have 400 B plus C. Now let us eliminate so that we can have the equation number 5. So 76,000 minus 124,000. That one is equal to minus 48,000. Then we have 40,000 minus 160,000. That one equals to minus 120,000 A. So 200 minus 400. This one is minus 200 B. So we have eliminated C in that equation. Then we call it this one equation 5. Now we can use equation 4 and 5 to find the value of A and B. So we can use equation number 4 and 5 to find the value of A and B. Now, once you find the value of A and B, now you can replace the value of A and B in either of this equation, either 1, 2, and 3, to find the value of C, so that you can get all the value which you are missing. That is A, B, and C, so that you can input into our total cost function to get our cost function. Now, screenshot that one so that I can do away with the upper part so that we can continue. So you can screenshot or give you 1 minute. So 1 minute to write, and then we continue.
Oh, boy.
Now, I think we can complete the equation so that we call it the day. So that tomorrow we start with the calculus, either tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. So let us do it. Let us solve for. So the time is not on our side. So I'm going to do away with up to this part because we need one of the equation. Now we have two equation. Equation 4, which is we have 3,000. 3,000 is equal to minus 30,000 A minus 100 B. This one was equation 5. Then we have minus 48,000 is equals to minus 120,000. Minus 200 B. This one is equation number next. This one was 4. This one is 5. Now let us solve for.
Hello?
Let me delete this one. We
Sasa.
don't need this. We know it is equation 4 and 5.
Unaona anti hiyo 50 years hiyo abantu wanakabasomia 3 hours each. Mara chibando lecho 10 bob yewe changa for an hour kila ngulanga 2 bob times 5. No exchange for.
Let us solve it.
Tulifanya na wewe sasa siku nilidhani like akili yangu ilikuwa iko pale
So
kwa
we multiply by 100 so that we can eliminate B, and the other side we multiply by 200. Now what is 3,000?
3 hours ni 30. Nilipima hiyo jana. So leo leo tena anafunza hata over 3.
Kindly mute.
Sasa
So on your side, kindly
tena
mute.
leo
Those who are smoking.
kitu 40 na sina zilisha na niko in the middle of the class. Yeah. 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 Sikujua atapitisha time alikuwa amesema.
Kindly mute on your side. So let us continue. So this one is 600,000. Then minus 30,000 times 200. This one is minus 6 million. A. And then 200 times 100. This one is 20,000 B. Then you have minus 48,000 times 100. This one is minus 48,000. And then 120,000 times 100. This one is minus 12 million. And then this one is 200,000, 20,000 B. Now we can eliminate B. Now we can eliminate B. Let us eliminate B so that we call it a class. So 600,000. So this one minus 20,000 minus 20,000 becomes 0. So if this one becomes 0, then in this case also we minus. So 600,000 minus 48,000. That one becomes 54,000. 54,000. Then minus 6 million minus 12 million.